should like come in and like swap down.
Like,
because it's like the couches, so like
we should like fucking Dolan twins.
Yeah.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. They're so lame. I fell way too far. Welcome back to our YouTube channel, guys. What's up? We're not doing a vlog this week. Sorry about it. I mean, honestly, they were kind of trash, so sorry about it. I actually decided that we're gonna start like an advice column. Advice, we're not sure what we're fully gonna call it yet, so maybe leave comments and give us some ideas. But for right now, I guess the advice column or the advice.
yeah, we like doing that on the podcast, but we also don't want the show to become too like preachy, us telling you what you should do. So we're gonna use the show more as like the comedic relief, just a discussion between us with the sprinkled in advice. But this is gonna be more straight up, like you guys write us and tell us scenarios, whatever you're going through, and then we'll kind of give our 2 cents as like your big sisters.
Yeah, and like actually give it to you, like this is what we would do. Or like, honestly, even we're gonna try and coincide them sometimes with the episode, depending on what we're talking about. Like in the episode, we necessarily didn't give you solutions or like this is the actual product. We're here, we can kind of show you the product, do that kind of stuff. So yeah, this is kind of for you guys. This is more like straightforward advice.
Yeah,
right there.
we want to be able to actually answer the questions that you want us to answer.
Right.
And
so the fun part about this is we actually had 3 people write us in with 3 different scenarios about dating and things that they're going through right now. So we're gonna read the scenarios. Everything's anonymous. We'll always be anonymous.
Yeah.
We promise. And yeah, we're gonna read you the scenarios and we're gonna just kind of go from there.
yeah, let you know what we think or what we would do, I guess.
Exactly. So the first one. Hey girls, I found your podcast on TikTok 2 weeks ago and I'm loving every second.
Thanks for the follow.
I was listening to an older episode, Why Dating in Your 20s is Important. I love it and wanted to ask you guys for advice. So I met a guy about 2 months ago and we have gone on several dates. After a month of dating, he started calling me his girlfriend, so I assumed that we were officially dating. He kept...
I would assume too.
Me as well. You're not wrong, girl. He kept taking me on dates. And I went through a rough time with my family and he was there for me every step of the way, super supportive. He even surprised me with the Adventure Challenge book. I think that's a dating book.
Like where you like mark things off?
Yeah, I think it's that dating book. Which is cute, I guess.
Yeah.
All of this to say is that I felt that everything was going so well. I would as well. And I was really starting to fall in love with him, but his energy over the last 2 weeks has really switched up. He seems to be getting more distant and doesn't want to hang out as often. Should I be concerned? Do you think he's going through something? Or do you think he's becoming disinterested? Would love some advice on what to do. Love you guys. Can't wait to listen to more episodes. First of all, thank you for writing in. This is a sticky situation because it could be it could be almost anything.
It could be a few things because the first thing that I'm thinking, based off of the time frame that she's laid out, it sounds like it was very fast.
It was like love bomb me.
Yeah, like very much like after a month of like dating to call you his girlfriend, but like never to like, I don't know, maybe this is just me being old fashioned, but like I feel like a formal ask helps clear a bunch of that like confusion. So if he just like started calling you his girlfriend but never was like, hey, I want you to be
yeah, will you be?
Yeah, like I feel like that already is confusing.
So okay, my thing is if you need a dating book 2 months in,
right, like
there's still so much you guys should be doing and haven't experienced yet together that you don't need a book to tell you what to do.
Yeah, like you shouldn't need like inspo for your dates and like stuff to do because you're so fresh and you're still getting to know each other that like I feel like that should just be easy.
Even and like also this might not be a part of their relationship yet because obviously everybody's different, but like even sex should just be like hot and heavy, like shouldn't like, so that's like be the thing that you're kind of like looking forward to most rather than like the drinks and the dates and whatever.
Yeah.
Like 2 months in, like you're still very like.
I feel like the dating book thing is something that like if I was with a partner for like a year or 2 years and it was kind of getting like boring.
Stale, yeah.
Then that would be introduced. Well, yeah, because I feel like in my head, like if I was her, what this would look like is somebody who's very interested in me. Like they really like me because A, they want to make me their girlfriend.
The effort.
The book to me, instead of me thinking like, because now we're like outside looking in, but if I was in the situation, I would be like, oh my God, they like me so much. Like they're putting an effort to like try to have dates that are fun. So like as a person.
And also like you're going through a rough time with your family and he was there for you to support you.
Yeah, and that's hard. I'm going to say he's pulling away because he either is into somebody else and doesn't know how to break things off with you, or he was all in at the beginning, but like in reality didn't ever really want a serious relationship, and now he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, and truthfully too, I think something like this, if it is that hot and heavy like straight away, that's really hard to keep up with.
Totally.
That's
because
so hard to keep up with.
Expectation is way too high. Like you're never gonna be able to like sustain that type of like dating behavior.
Because also in my opinion, like dating should be kind of slow. Like it really should be slow. If you're doing stuff like 3-4 times a week that are so extravagant.
Well, it's kind of like that thing. It's like if it's too good to be true, it is too good to be true.
Exactly. Where I think that dating should be kind of slow.
Yeah, it should be paced.
It should be paced. Like, yes, you should want to see each other all the time and like spend like a lot of time with each other, especially in the beginning. But like you don't necessarily have to, and then to like buy the adventure book and everything else seems like a lot. So I feel like he's trying to pull back. I think that he kind of got like, he was maybe too into it at first. Maybe he found somebody else. But definitely my advice for this, overall advice, step back and take time for yourself.
Yeah.
If he's pulling away, what I would do is I'd give him the same exact energy back.
Yeah.
Well, don't love bomb him back. Don't try to text him all the time. I would take a step back. Worry about yourself. If you love to work out, if you love skincare, if you love anime, I'm just saying stuff that we enjoy. Get into it and just go back to focusing on yourself, because honestly that's more attractive to him anyway.
And you'll probably realize by doing that like maybe you don't like him as much as you think that you do. Because like now you're focusing on you instead of just him.
Right. Put yourself first. That would be my advice in this. If he wants you, he'll come back. You guys will talk it out. It'll be fine. Maybe he's going through a period of time. Maybe he's dealing with something, because as we know, men kind of show their emotions differently. They're not going to lean on you. But at the same time, focus on you.
Yeah.
That'd be my advice.
Agreed. All right. Number 2. Hey ladies, I'm a new listener from TikTok and I love the show. Thank you. I know in the past you guys have talked about using dating apps. Yes, we definitely have. I would love some advice on my current situation with a guy I met on Hinge. So me and this guy matched a couple of months ago. Things have been really fun. We go on dates every week and hung out with each other all the time. He texts me every morning when he wakes up and sends me goodnight texts every day. I really like him and I think he likes me too, but I don't know how to ask him if we are exclusive. I stopped using Hinge a few weeks back after we started hanging more and my feelings developed. But since we haven't become quote boyfriend and girlfriend, I don't know if he is still on the apps and also if he's dating other people. I don't want to scare him away, but I want to be exclusive. Help.
That's rough. That's a rough one.
Yeah, because what sucks about dating apps is like, in the back of your mind, you know that dating apps are meant so you can date multiple people at once, kind of feel it out, like get things going, because you are also doing that. So this situation happens, I feel like really often on dating apps, where it's like you have like, you know, your top 3, then you start liking one, so then you kind of back off, and then you put all of your eggs in one basket, but you don't know if that person's doing the same.
Right.
And so it's a really awkward conversation, because when you're with them, you really love your time and like they are reciprocating that, but then it's also hard to tell like, well, are they doing this with other people?
And they probably are. To be honest, they are. If you met them on a dating app, they are. So I personally have only really ever used like dating apps for validation. I'm gonna be real with you. Like I've gone on dates from dating apps, yes, but mainly it's for validation. If I looked at my Hinge right now, I have, I think, let's be real. 119 notifications. It didn't work. But 119 notifications, because I just like to know that people would be interested. I don't necessarily care about going on dates. Yeah. And that might be really vain, but that is what it is. So I think Emily's more averse to talking this, but in my opinion, what I would do is kind of just be straight up with him. Just be like, hey, like, I really like you. Like, are you still planning on using apps? Are you still seeing other people? Like, it's a really like hard conversation and takes a lot inside to like kind of be vulnerable like that. But or like slowly throw it in there being like, yeah, I'm not really using them as much. I don't know.
Yeah. So I will say, in the past when this conversation has like come up for me, it's gone one of 2 ways, where it's like one way it went and it was great and we both were on the same page and we both stopped using the apps. The other way, it was actually the opposite. So the guy told me that he stopped using the apps, but when we were hanging out, he saw the app on my phone still. And he was like, wait, you're still using Hinge? And I was like, I mean, yeah, we met on Hinge. Like, we've only been talking for like a couple of weeks, like whatever. So it can definitely feel weird coming from the person who was on the other side of that, where it's like, no, yeah, I'm still using the apps. So that I definitely feel the hesitation on that. What I would say is, if you're using the apps because you want to date people long term, definitely have the conversation. Because if you have the conversation and they are weirded out by it and pull away, then like they obviously aren't using the apps the same way that you are, and like you don't really want to like date that person anyways.
Okay, so this is just me asking because again, I just use it for validation, so I don't really. Would it be important to maybe like have that on your dating profile that like dating's important to you?
Okay. Yes and no, because I will say sometimes on the dating apps in the past, I've gone in more of like the casual validation, and then you meet somebody and you really like them, and then your focus kind of shifts towards that.
Okay.
So I wouldn't want to scare people away
by saying like I'm using this for a relationship.
Right, because I will say like as a user, and then somebody else has that on their thing, I'm like, oh no, I don't want to, like, because in my head I'm like, and this is just like, I don't know. But I'm like, oh, you're gonna be like clingy and like too much.
No,
I don't know. So
yeah.
What I would say is just like be honest. Like I feel like that's the biggest thing in dating apps. Like the quicker you are to being yourself 100%, the better chances you have of the relationship turning into something real. Because I feel like when you hide how you're actually feeling and like you are fitting the mold of like what they want you to be, honestly it's wasting everybody's time.
But that goes for even if you meet the person.
Totally.
Be yourself the whole time, because the facade isn't gonna it's not gonna last regardless if it's a dating app or not. So just be yourself. But yeah, no, that's a hard one. That takes a lot of balls, honestly, to like bring up. But I feel like you can maybe like start slowly introducing the conversation, not just like, hey, by the way, I deleted them, and you need to as well. It could just maybe be like, yeah, I haven't really been using them as often.
Yeah.
Or like,
or even as simple as like, hey, I really like you. Like, how are you feeling about the situation? Like, do you want to, keep seeing each other and like, I don't know.
Especially I think in a time too where you both are talking about your feelings for each other. Yeah. That's gonna be the easiest time to bring it up, not when you're talking about dinner.
Yeah, because I will say when that guy like called me out and he was like looking at my phone, it weirded me out that I'm like, why are you looking at my phone that intensely? And that, to me, I was like, ew, I don't like that. So yeah, it needs to be like you are already having like a conversation revolving around.
Like, hey, I like you, you like me.
Yeah.
Or like, let's see where this goes. Or it's like, hey, I like you, you like me, you're fun to hang out with, but I'm still on the apps. So I think that's like, that's kind of the way that you could approach it, in my opinion, without it being like too overbearing.
I agree. I say just be honest, but yeah, don't be like, and also you can't expect them to just delete it.
No.
And if they don't want to, then they don't want to, and then you take a step back. Kind of like what we said in the last one. Like, you always have to put your feelings first, and if it's too much for them to be dating other people and you to really like them, take time away and be with yourself.
It's all about yourself. Dating is honestly all about yourself. I don't care what anybody else says. You need to put yourself first. Always advocate for yourself. Because honestly, at the end of the day, that person's going to respect you even more.
Totally.
Or they're not, but then you're not being hurt.
Yeah, agreed.
Anyway, write-in number 3. This is our final write-in. Ladies, love the pod. It's so nice to listen to two girls that are so real and raw, so I hope you don't mind me opening up right now. I have been dating 2 guys, keeping the options open. Everything's cool there, just casual and low-key, kind of boring. But I went to the bar this weekend and met this guy. It was so fun and riveting. We made out at the bar, ended up fucking in a construction site across the street. I have been longing for something so adventurous and fun. Should I leave the other 2 guys and try to find someone more thrill-seeking like this guy, or not? Why or why not though? Okay, bye. Love the exit. Love the exit on this. Thank you. True fan. My thing is, first of all, if you think the other 2 guys are boring and you're just kind of keeping them around for nothing, bye anyway. Like, don't waste your time.
I feel like that kind of plays into like the validation thing.
Exactly. But the thing is too, when you're dating somebody, if it's that thrill-seeking, like getting fucked in a construction site, it's not gonna always be that way. And if it is, there's an issue. So I would say trying to find someone as thrill-seeking as that person that you met at the bar and it was a whirlwind of like emotions, you don't want that person.
And also, like, you're never gonna be satisfied if that's the type of relationship you're wanting, because you're setting other people up for failure because you're holding them to this one crazy thing that you did. It's almost like trying drugs. Like, this sounds so crazy, but it's like your high is never gonna be as good as the first time you did it. So, like, if you're dating to just have these, like, crazy ass, like, adventurous hookups and stuff, like, at some point, A, that's gonna become boring. And B, like, it's never gonna top that, like, first wild experience.
No, correct. It's funny because I feel like I always say, like, 80% of the time you're gonna date somebody, it's gonna be boring.
Right.
Like, you're gonna be laying on the couch, you're not really gonna be doing much, like, especially at our age, like, you have work. Like, you're not in high school anymore where you can, like, be doing crazy shit, and, like, you're not in college anymore where, like, you won't, like, you know, all
your
those
life
things.
revolves around, like, partying and
dating and stuff like that. Like, we actually have real jobs. So it's going to be kind of boring. Having to just sit on the couch, watch Netflix, and just literally relaxing, making dinner together has to be enough. So that thrill-seeking part of it, honestly, should really only happen, like, once a month, that you do something, like, crazy and fun with your partner anyway.
Right.
So,
and if you want that, just date casually, but you shouldn't be dating for a relationship if that's the type of dating that you want.
Exactly. So I think in this, getting rid of those two other guys might be smart because you already sound disinterested.
Yeah.
To be fair,
It honestly, it sounds like you don't want, like, a boyfriend. It sounds like you want just, like, hookups,
crazy fun
which
sex.
is fine.
Which is great. I hope that for you.
Yeah.
But then the other two guys that you're bored with, you're already bored with them before you met this person.
Yeah.
You're okay, like, you're dating two people at the same time and you met somebody else and still fucked them, so you clearly don't like either of them enough.
Yeah.
So drop them and build a new roster.
Yeah.
That's what I would tell you to do. But, I mean, just know that dating isn't that riveting.
It's kind of like friendships. Like, you don't want... I feel like the friend who's, like, always doing all these crazy... That friendship is exhausting. Like,
you can't keep up.
No.
Physically, financially, mentally,
and,
spiritually.
Like, relationship is the same way. Like, it should be A, pretty easy, and B, pretty baseline. That's the advice that we would give on these dating topics.
Yeah, definitely. So we want advice. We want to give you guys advice for absolutely everything. Anything in life. It doesn't have to be dating.
As much as we can speak from our experience, we'll try to help you out.
Exactly, and we love to give it to you. So you guys can DM us some of your little, like, prompts and asking for advice, or you guys can email us at society97.pod@gmail.com. So you can email us there, and we will definitely try to put it into a category and get back to you guys on some good advice.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys drop a like, turn on your post notifications, and subscribe. And we will see you on Friday for the video version of the podcast. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.